that building line is relative as well. Okay, so here's a lot of information. I'm going to summarize it. Scope of work was originally presented as an addition. The applicant is also considering a potential complete replacement. Either way, it doesn't matter because the result it'll still result in the reduced setbacks, which are the variances they're requesting. So just to let you know, that's an either or. And again, we have this either or for the side yard requirement. The commercial recreation district does not require as a prerequisite to occupancy that there are side yards. It simply says if there are side yards, then it has to be a total of 15 feet. And then it gives, the ordinance gives you the option of or 15 feet between adjacent buildings as, you know, kind of a way out of that if it's appropriate. That was not available on either instance for this project. So that's why we have both. And then the existing requirement or the existing setback for the boathouse is about 14 feet from the front lot line. The addition, this project will result in a front yard setback of 10 feet. Again, we're here because commercial recreation requires a minimum of 30 feet. And as we know, that's, you know, we hardly see that setback achieved or existing in this boathouse area of our city. Let's see. So right now what they're proposing is there's a total on the side of 4 feet total with 2 feet on each side. And so proposed is 1 foot total with half a foot or 6 inches on each side. Okay. Here's a front elevation on this slide on the left-hand side of it. From the front, we can see a very similar character. Proposed building height to the ridge of 23.5 feet, well below the maximum of 40 feet. They have also appeared to consider the proposed finish floor grade, which, while outside of this board's purview, is, you know, fairly relevant because it has to do with floodplain development, which this is located within. And the applicant, to the best of our knowledge, is also aware of the boathouse building code. On the right-hand side is a side elevation, looking at the front. Moving on for now. Staff analysis. So the existing neighborhood has a mixture of boathouses, single and two-family homes, and they all have different zoning. The front yard variance will help the new addition or replacement home conform to the existing building line, which will help it fit in more with the existing character of the area as a neighborhood. 3, the proposed side yard variance is appropriate given the clear intent of the regulations. As I mentioned, the standard to which they're applying a variance for only says that if side yards are provided, not that they must be, which is different from a single or two-family residential zoning district. So it's no wonder that the buildings all look different because they had different requirements back in the day and still do. 4 appears to be aligned with previous similar variance requests in the Cove District, and all other zoning requirements would be met by this project. Other departments' comments, which were forwarded to the applicant when packets went out, a couple from engineering staff. One is that a downspout will be required, directing additional stormwater to the bay at the rear of the property, and that a floodplain development permit must be submitted. And the chief building official advised that the proposed boathouse, whether addition or new boathouse, must meet the city's boathouse regulations. Therefore, staff recommends approval with the following condition. All applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, and any other applicable agency prior to construction. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for staff?
I'd like to hear from CEOs.
Yeah. Does anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor of this variance? If so, please join us at the microphone up here and state your name.
No.
Not in favor.
Not in favor.
Okay. Anybody who would like to speak in favor of this variance?
That would be me.
Okay. Step up to the microphone and give us your name and address.
My name is Robert Dissauer, and my address is 10460 Misty Hollow Lane, and that's Kirtland, Ohio. And the reason I'm doing this, building this boathouse and asking for the variance is, right now it's old, it's not built correctly, and it's fallen into the water. So I want to build it correctly. I want to follow the new codes, and I want to make it for a wider boat. Right now, the boat well is very narrow. It's for, older wood boats. And that's why we're asking for the variance.
Thank you. What is the width of the current boat well?
Boat well or the boathouse?
Boat well.
Boat well is 11 foot.
And you want to increase that to?
Well, I'd like to have a 13.5 foot boat. So I want to get that in there.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for this variant? If not, is there anybody who would like to speak against this variant? So please.
Hey, my name is Tim Burke, and I own the boathouse adjacent to him. And the steel pilings that hold up my house are between us. There's a post in the middle, and it goes underneath both houses. And his architect told me he's gonna cut it out, and whatever happens, happens. Now, his father owned the property and told me I could do whatever I want in that 2-foot space many, many years ago. I've had it for 29 years now. And if you go 6 inches from my house, I can never put a screw in the side of my house again. I think that's terrible to go that close to somebody's home and not give them room to work on their home. I have a picture here I can show you.
Sure.
My wall underneath the house is deteriorated, and this is his boathouse and this is mine. And if you draw a straight line, you can see where I'm leaning towards him.
Tell me again what we're looking
Do you see it?
This is his.
This is mine, but this is where the steel was straight, and then you can see, look at the top and then look at the bottom. That's probably 6
at.
inches.
Oh, you're on the north side.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just think it's this wall here, that's what I have for the rest of my life. I think that's awful close after having 2 foot.
Is there anything in this space at this point?
There's a steel piling down the center, and then I can show you pictures.
And it's braced under both?
Yes, it's braced underneath both houses. That's what
Is that under the south house too? Does
Yes,
that go
both
all the way?
houses. Yes,
How many
they're all
houses
tied
does it
together.
carry? How many?
Probably 6 or 7, I don't know for sure.
That's where the water's at.
That's see where the water was, so this is rotten, and over the years, I had a construction company meet with me today to see if I could replace that beam, trying to get everything done, because my boat's hanging in the air. I have no way to get it out, and he can't work on it because my boat's in there. I got a letter 3 weeks ago, and they said, here, this is what he wants to do, so I'm like, wow.
Do you have access down to your boathouse, between the two boathouses?
Right now I do, I can walk right through there from steel to steel if I had a plan.
So you can get all the way up through those?
All the way through
those
both
two.
houses, yeah, very easily. Right now I can. But, this wall, this steel is that old on that side, and to replace all that and put a beam in there, and then after I'm done, I got a wall this thick between there, that's just, don't seem fair.
So as you understand it, the 13.5-foot new would occupy that space?
Yes. Yes,
And
it
it
would.
would be flush to yours?
In the back, it will touch the back right now. Because the wood's rotted. I mean, if it was back normal, it would be like over here, and it would be 6 inches away. But once that wall's up, you can never work on that.
Right.
You can't access it from inside your boathouse?
Well, the guy that met me told me he can't hardly pull that back in unless he has the space to work on it, the construction guy. There's no room.
Where is your property line exactly?
It's right on the line.
Your
Yeah, I'm
house is
right at the property
So where you're leaning in the back, is that encroaching?
That's
on
encroaching
his
his property.
Okay.
And if he builds the wall now, that house keeps thinking it's what's
Right.
gonna happen.
Right.
Have you shared this with the city?
Pardon?
Have you shared?
No, I just found out about this a few weeks ago, and I live in Medina, Ohio,
Do you
so
have another copy of this?
you can keep it.
Okay, well, we want to allow the city to.
So Adam, what happens on the south side there? How much room is gonna be on the south side between the two there?
I'm not sure, and
I think this is the north side.
Right. Now I'm wondering about the south too. The south is a little
feel
smaller.
free to
It's only
chime
11
in
foot.
here, but
I'm sorry?
I just said to our law director, feel free to chime in, but as a matter of a human component of it, I think it's important that for the property owners to have that dialogue. I don't think this board should serve as an intermediary body for those concerns because we're dealing with private property. And I don't want to sound, I'm just talking like analytically here, not trying to sound cruel, but again, the code allows for there to be no side yard setbacks. So it sounds like right now the neighbor to Mr. Burke, right? Mr. Burke has enjoyed a handshake agreement with the neighbor, allowing to more or less trespass onto their property to access more easily his property on his side of the line. I don't know that this board frankly has the jurisdiction over mediating that, but if you care to comment.
The only thing I'd add is that it could be withdrawn at any time.
What's that?
He could withdraw the ability to trespass on his property.
Right, if in the absence of any access easement or, other reestablished agreement.
So we don't know,
So from a practical matter, absolutely, it's no doubt a concern. I don't want to discount that, but I don't think it's our business to.
is it Mr. Dishauer that's for okay. On the south side, do you run up against the neighbor, your property line is up, so you're the only one that has any additional property? Am I correct in that?
That's correct. The
Okay.
2 feet on both sides of my boathouse belong to me.
Okay.
And when you purchased, how long ago did you purchase it?
1997.
And you've used it since in the condition that it's currently in?
I have up till
Except
last,
you only have 11-foot width boats, I understand.
yeah, at the time, right?
A couple of questions for
Yes.
staff. The extension of the boathouse further into the slip, is that a matter for ODNR or
Yeah,
engineers?
Army Corps of Engineers, yes. Yeah. Our the chief building official, Scott Tom, him and I talked about this when it first came in a while ago. And he mentioned that the applicant told me that Scott said he would need a letter of approval from the Army Corps before he could approve that portion of it.
Extending.
Yeah, and it would have to obviously comply with our boathouse regs.
And the downspout requirement that you're asking for,
The engineering staff,
is
yeah.
that where will there be gutters the full length of it, or how is that?
I'm not sure exactly how that is going to be sorted. I think their intention was just to guide the rest of the architectural process. Yeah,
Rather than allowing it to go on a current street?
correct. Yeah, that was the intention. So how exactly that was achieved, I think engineering's leaving up to the applicant.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know what all the talk has been between the neighbors. I'm familiar with those boathouses down there. I think that steel's got to be 50, 60 years old anyway, and isn't it the old railroad track type steel? Isn't that what it is in
I
there?
replaced mine, I think, 10 years ago.
So you did yours,
Yeah.
but you still tied it back into your neighbors? Is that what you did?
Yes,
Okay. Did you get his permission to do that?
yes, he did at the time.
No.
Nothing in writing?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so, Mr. Dishauer, when you decide to do this, if you go with a larger boathouse, are you planning on doing anything with the steel underneath?
Underneath my boathouse, well, the people that are putting the steel in will have to remove that, yeah.
Yeah, but you are planning on completely ripping everything out of there and going out to the lines?
That's my intention. Right now is to build a new boathouse there.
Has there been any talk with the neighbors trying to get together and trying to You'd like to say, come up and,
I live on the other side. My name is Tracy Fox. I own 833 Curran Street with Todd Allensworth, my husband. And I don't need construction done. I'm not falling in. However, if he does this, it brings us 6 inches together. We'll never be able to do maintenance on the side of our home. Should something happen, who knows when and if that could happen. Currently, we have steel in between our houses so that planks could be put, so if either one of us have to work on the side of our home, we can. That'll just be gone. We won't be able to do anything to the side of our home again.
As I understand that steel also goes to the depth, the complete depth of the boathouse.
Yes.
How far apart are the, if you know?
You know what, I do not know. I'm a little ill-prepared in
No.
that way. I just got thrown into this, so.
Welcome.
so basically, if you need to do any work, or is it Mr. Burke? Mr. Burke
Mr.
needs to
Burke,
do
yes.
any work, you have to encroach on Mr. Dissauer's property,
We
right?
can't do it. There's no room, there's only 6 inches.
No, I'm talking about currently. If you're
Oh,
doing,
yeah,
if you're doing work,
currently, we just
you're
do
encroaching on his property right now.
Well, it's just always been a friendly situation.
I understand,
where
I
there was-
understand.
You know, we wouldn't even think we had to ask him to put a beam down to work on our house. There has been, we're a little bit over like with a deck and a flower bed. And when he got his property surveyed years ago, my husband directly went to him and said, hey, you want us to move, you want us to cut that and move, we will immediately. Oh, no, it's okay, you know. It's not, it's just a deck and a flower bed, it's not a permanent structure or anything. So, it's just, it would be a hardship if something happened to the side of our home. And, you know, if you
You
get a bigger
share-
boat.
Do you share foundational steel with their boathouse?
Yes,
So all three are tied together steel-wise?
The steel, no, they're not all three tied together. The steel comes this way, and then on the side of my boathouse, it goes across to Todd's boathouse and Tracy's, and it goes the other way to Tim's boathouse. It doesn't go straight
Well,
across.
I know it doesn't go all the way across.
Right.
Pilings are common pilings between both sides of Robbie's house.
So what happens when you pull all those out?
My house is gonna fall.
Yeah, you got a problem. There's
Well, so
nothing
you're gonna have to
supporting
do-
the houses on left and right side.
The pilings go straight down, and then there's a cross beam. And that's, the cross beam is what has to be removed.
Which is also a support for his boathouse.
Well, the cross beam wouldn't, they could put it, but he has a piling going down. That cross beam just kind of ties all this stuff in, so when the ice moves, the pilings stay in place.
Mr. Chairman, I know some of this isn't our purview, but I'm having a kind of an issue tonight in that we are short-staffed up here, meaning that we either have
Can
to
I show
be.
you a picture?
Go
Don't
ahead.
interrupt.
I'm fine if he wants to.
Well, it's just a matter of
Okay.
Robert's rules.
So my suggestion is we wait till we get the complete board assembled again. I think it's too important to these folks to either have a total yes vote or have one denial. And I completely understand both sides of it. I understand you have property rights, you're encroaching on their property, even walking down to fix your boathouse. But I understand you're not going to be able to fix your boathouse any longer. Some of these boathouse disputes, you hope that the neighbors can get together and come to some amicable decision. You wanted to share a picture, Mr. Burke, before I make any motion?
I agree with Mr. Dillon. Whatever we would decide today is gonna go
Right.
forward to any other boathouses that have this similar problem. And so.
There's Mr. Dishour's boathouse. This is my boathouse. Do you see the pilings there? This is the common one in the middle. So if you cut that loose, then there's
What are
no,
we looking at? What are these
you're
items?
looking straight
Wait a
down.
minute.
Okay. That's crossing the boathouses and then the steel goes down.
Which boathouse is yours?
This one over here.
Okay.
There, I blew it up. You can see a little
Oh,
better.
yeah,
there.
okay.
That's a better picture.
There we go. Got that. Got it.
Oh, yeah. I see. So is that steel all cracked in between there?
No, it's a railroad track.
Why
It's-
does it look bad?
It came off of a railroad. It's really thick.
I lost your picture.
Okay. Motorcycle looks good.
Thank you.
Again, you have common property with the piling. You have issues with trying to get in to maintain. You have issues when you rip down the boathouse to your neighbors, both north and south. And again, I don't know without an entire board that we want to give a yay or nay. So my suggestion is that we table it until we can get an entire board together. Is that, we're not even going to have one next month, would we? And the whole board?
I haven't gotten an application yet.
Okay.
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
Let's do anything else you want.
No, the only other thing I was gonna say, this is not just something that's gonna affect these two boathouses. Once we make a decision on how you come together, and then it goes forward. It's not just, somebody come back and says, oh, on, this date you did this and no, and so we wanna do the same thing, and then we're gonna be facing the same issue, so.
See, we have to give the variance in order for you to get forward, but if we give that, then it messes up your north and south neighbors.
It would become a civil matter is the thing.
What's that?
It would just become a civil matter is how I understand the legal process. So they would have to be sorted out between themselves
But it would
since it is
still-
common process.
Wouldn't it be a civil matter, even if we turn it down tonight, they could go ahead civilly and try to get things corrected that way?
If they pursued an alternate design to code requirements. Because theoretically, again, code doesn't require a side yard. Mr. Dissauer could have submitted a 0-foot setback, and, that would have been, on the one half of that either or standard, that would have been okay there, but the adjacent buildings, that would have still triggered, but.
So if it's, Mr. Hayes, if it's a 0 lot line, do you have to have a party wall agreement or anything in place, or how do you do that?
No, the walls can be built just like downtown, right next to each other.
They've done that on Parker last year.
Those neighbors all got together right there, right? They all agreed to what they were doing? Do you want to call the lady?
No, they're all common walls on Parker.
Okay. The lady speaking.
Did you want to add something?
We found out about this when we got a letter from the city. There was no neighborly talk. As neighbors with Bob, all of us have upgraded our properties, poured concrete, done all kinds of things while his sat and rotted. Never weeded, we all took turns weeding his property and just so we can stand looking at it. And now he drops this bombshell because he wants a bigger boat. It's like, what is happening here? And it's a pretty big decision.
And I agree, I don't want to short shrift either side here, and I think if we get more input from more members, I'll make a motion that we table it until next month's meeting, hoping we get a better crowd here.
Who called the roll call on that motion?
William Siemens,
Yes.
Kevin Zire,
Yes.
Dan Delahunt.
Yes.
I will merely make a suggestion. It's not any guidance from anybody but me, but I would certainly suggest that you as neighbors do a little work amongst each other and see if we can come up with a common solution before we bring this off the table at.
Yeah, do you have an association in the area?
No.
They don't, yeah, no owners association.
Okay.
The next item on our agenda is an application that was submitted by Welcome Home Great Lakes LLC on behalf of the city of Sandusky for property it owns at 1704 Buchanan Street for a variance to construct a new single-family dwelling through the Welcome Home Ohio program with a rear yard setback of 16 feet, whereas section 1129.14 requires a minimum rear yard setback of 29 feet. Staff?
Yes, thank you. As we can see in this slide, the 1704 Buchanan Street is zoned RMF, multifamily residential district. On the right-hand side is a better image of the property from an aerial perspective. And we can see the surrounding zoning is a mixture of other multifamily, two-family, and single-family zoning. On the left-hand side of the screen is the Buchanan Street elevation. These are recently taken photographs. On the bottom right is from Clay Street, which would be the side yard. This is right on the outside edge of the MacArthur Park neighborhood for reference.
It's on the outside, I'm sorry, the outside?
Outside edge of MacArthur Park neighborhood.
Okay.
Here's the proposed site plan from the applicant. Scope of work, again, the home is being constructed as part of the City of Sandusky's Welcome Home Ohio program and is currently under purchase contract slated for construction in December 2025 or January 2026. On the bottom right-hand side of that red outline is the setback requiring the variance. Otherwise, we see a side yard to the left with a driveway running a decent length of the house. And on the north part of the house rectangle, there is a proposed front porch / deck with some landscaping. Moving on for now, staff analysis is that first, granting this variance will help the future owner enjoy a similar footprint, especially in terms of home depth and yard space as many other residential lots in the neighborhood. Two, the yard space will mostly be on the side of the home on the interior part of the lot instead of to the back. But this is actually common for houses on corner lots throughout the city. Because the yard space itself, albeit on the side, is still ample, it will still mitigate stormwater surface runoff onto or from adjacent properties, which is arguably the intent of the rear yard setback requirement as it is. Three, because of recently passed text amendments, the homeowner will also be able to build 6-foot tall fencing in the side yard, providing the potential for more privacy and for it to feel like a backyard of sorts. And four, all other zoning code requirements would be met by the proposed single-family dwelling. Therefore, staff recommends approval with the following condition. All applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, and any other applicable agency prior to construction. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this variance?
I'm here to answer questions if you have any, but otherwise, the presentation is what we wish to have.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for this gentleman or staff?
It seems to me it's bringing as much as possible consistency to the lots in the area, same width, depth. In this case, you're going to have a side lot that's a little bigger than the front or the back. Mm-hmm. But again, the width of the lot is basically consistent with the other ones in the area. It seems to me to be
And it is an existing lot, too. Yeah.
This drawing with, the one that's up, the shaded part, is that building?
That'd be a tree.
No.
Yeah, the shade or the crosshatch, you mean?
The shaded branches. The part with the 5 circles along the front right there.
That is, yes, that is the front porch, and then if you follow that south, you'll see a dark, slightly darker line of the rectangle outline, that's the main home part. It's,
Is that building appears to be further towards the street than the neighboring buildings?
which portion? Which cardinal direction? The northern wall of the building?
The western. Not towards Clay Street, but towards Buchanan.
That is so that's a front entrance feature because that's a front porch. And those are permitted to encroach or project up to 8 feet past the minimum required front yard setback. So they followed community development staff's guidance in drafting that too. That's in the code. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, are these the modular homes, the two-story modular homes that have been?
Yes, they are.
So that neighborhood do you have any idea if there are any owner occupants immediately in that neighborhood there? Almost
I
every
imagine
house
so.
in that neighborhood that I saw, other than a split level across the street, is single, I mean, it's a single story, probably about 1,400 or 1,500 square feet, if that much. This is how big?
I think they're 8.
1,300 square feet.
Thank
It's
you.
1,300?
That's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
So do we know if any owner occupied? Apparently there was nobody that said anything, right?
Yeah, the letters did go out according to our ordinance. We did not receive any feedback for this application, one way or the other. But neighbors were notified. Whenever we have a situation where there's a tenant, but they don't own the property, it goes to, I believe our practice is to the occupant, the tenant, as well as the taxpayer mailing address. So that way the actual property owner, but the occupant too, are both notified. But even then, we did not
Okay,
receive
so
any.
we understand that there's a contract on the property that'll be owner occupied.
Yes.
How long did
Actually,
it?
the welcome,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If you could state your name and address for the record.
I'm Joe Ritchie, and I'm with Community Building Partners, Welcome Home Great Lakes, the owner of the property. So we've completed the sale transaction of the property. So
The sale of the lot.
yeah, the lot.
Right, okay.
So the Welcome Home program requires it to be sold to an owner occupant. They're required to live in it as an owner occupant for 5 years. There's a 20-year restrictive covenant relating to the property. So it continues to be affordable home ownership for the community. For
How does that work?
period. Beg your pardon?
How does that part of it work? So they gotta keep it for 5 years, what's the
Yeah.
other 15?
They can sell the property after 5 years to another homeowner, but that homeowner has to meet the income requirements of the program. So basically, the state has provided a grant to the city of Sandusky to encourage workforce housing, but they want to make sure it continues to be owner occupied for a 20-year period. That's the nature of the program.
So is that 5 years plus 20 or 5?
It's 5
20
years,
altogether?
5 years for the original occupant, and then 20 years to make sure that it's continues to be affordable.
What happens at the end of 20 years? Does
The
that,
restricted covenant is released after 20 years.
so
it
they
could be
can
something
sell it,
else.
tear it down, build a new one without?
Somebody could do that, I suppose, but
Sell
it's,
it
you know,
and-
it continues to have,
Yeah.
You have a number of these houses around town now, right?
yes.
Same-
the
same
program,
site,
it's the
basically.
exact same.
Same.
And so we're.
Are
this
you
was the
worried at
land
all
bank.
about fitting into the neighborhood with a two-story with all the other single-story houses right around you there?
Well, we're comfortable with that,
Yeah.
you know. It is, this design fits many size lots. And one of the features of it is, and the reason for the variance is, the design has a bedroom and a bath on the first floor to make it more easily adaptable for ADA compliance. And that was one of the things the city was concerned about, was making sure that the broadest number of people could access the homes. As a result, that extension of the first floor, which is, I think, 55 feet deep, does create the need for the variance in the backyard. However, the houses have a wraparound porch, and the side yard is a decent size, I think it's 31 feet. So the side yard actually is the way the person would live in the house. It has a side door that opens into that side yard. It has a wraparound porch that makes it accessible. So that's where the outside space would be.
And I know this isn't part of our deal, but what kind of money we talking about as far as affordable?
The home buyer is, for this house, is paying $160,000.
Okay.
The total price of the house is above $260,000. So the grant that comes from the state is approximately $100,000. The
Thank
home
you.
buyer is would be paying about $1,000 a month in mortgage, taxes, and insurance. So that makes it affordable. The folks that are buying it have to have incomes 80% median income or lower. But they must qualify for a mortgage, so the income range is probably 50 to 80% median income.
Is there a bank or several banks that are participating in this program?
Several banks are participating. Savista Bank has provided the construction financing, and they're doing a number of the permanent loans for their other lenders involved in it as well.
Okay.
The City of Sandusky's program is one of the most robust in the state. So it got a large grant, and they're, according to the state, doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Pointing at me. I would move to approve this request.
I guess I'll second, but I guess it doesn't have anything to do with us, but these type of houses that being built, these modulars, sometimes I think it kind of defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to do in town about upgrading the neighborhoods. I kind of see a problem down the road. So this is a $260,000 house in a neighborhood that doesn't support 260. So I'll keep my mouth shut in a second.
Too late. Please call the roll on that motion.
Dan Delahunt,
Yes.
Kevin Zire,
Yes.
William Siemens.
Yes. Is there anything further?
No further items.
This board, did I hear you say that you didn't have any application?
As of
for-
right now, I do not.
Oh, wait a minute, now we're on for the boathouse now, aren't we?
You did table it, I believe, to the next meeting.
I don't know, I think we just tabled it. I don't know if we specified a,
You did say to the next one.
did we say to the next meeting?
No.
I'm not sure, let's see, before I adjourn, I want to look at my calendar and make sure that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm good, December 8th.
I know it's getting to that time.
Yeah, I got it already on the.
Yep, I've got it. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Not
You
yet.
Need a motion.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say
I'll call
aye.
you right back.
Aye.
We're adjourned.